Australia, with responsibility for the search area, has been glad to welcome the participation of other countries from around the world with ships, aircraft, but also technical expertise. The satellite data, the information that's been gleaned from the various research groups has meant that we've been able to begin the search in areas of very deep water that had only limited mapping in the past. There has been an unprecedented level of cooperation between Australia, Malaysia and China and other countries, and we're anxious and committed to ensuring that that level of cooperation continues into the future. In addition to the valuable assets that Malaysia has provided for the search, Minister Liao has today committed a significant financial contribution also to the search. We acknowledge the effective relationship between our three countries and the tireless work that has been done by our officials in helping to progress this search. The passengers and the families of MH370 have not left our thoughts, and we will do everything in our power to locate the aircraft and to help them find closure. All of the countries involved remain cautiously optimistic that we will find the missing aircraft. Starting next month, the Australian Transport Safety Bureau will lead a deep sea search using an Australian contracted vessel, Frugo Discovery and Frugo Equator, as well as the Malaysian contracted vessel, Geo Phoenix. The Malaysian vessel will be the first on the site and will be there in about 3 weeks' time. Together, the vessels will search the floor using towed vehicles equipped with wide-scan sonar, synthetic aperture sonar, multi-beam echo sounders, video cameras, all deployed to locate this aircraft. The high-resolution search of the priority area on the seafloor is expected to take about 12 months to complete. Together, the vessels will search this area in a systematic way so that we can be sure that the area is thoroughly covered. We hope that the area can be searched as much as possible in the next few months before weather conditions are potentially going to deteriorate. During today's meeting, we discussed the ongoing refinement of the priority search area and an analysis of the bathymetric data that has been developed to prepare us for the deep sea search. I have to say that the information that's been gathered in this mapping exercise has been quite remarkable. Whilst there was a view that perhaps this was a relatively uninteresting piece of geography, a long, long way from the shore, we have discovered through this work quite remarkable geographical features, including a couple of volcanoes. In some places, in one place in particular near the Broken Ridge, the sea level rises to as little as, the sea depth is as little as 600 metres and then falls away in just a very short distance to 6,600 metres. So there's very, very deep water in the area. So this information that's being gathered as a result of the first detailed mapping is absolutely essential to ensure the safety of the next stage of the search. It would not be safe to put the towed sonar equipment into the water if we didn't have this kind of vital information about the nature of the seabed. It's quite dramatic in some places, and certainly the equipment would be lost if we had not earlier been able to map it and detect where these mountains are, where the trenches are, and where areas can be searched with the confidence that the equipment will not be damaged. This initial work has identified some areas of specific interest for the next stage of the search, and undoubtedly, as it continues, there will be more done in that area. Over the last few weeks and months, continuing work is being done on refining the information that we have in relation to the most likely resting place for this aircraft. The search area remains the same, but some of the information we now have suggests to us that areas a little further to the south, within the search area, but a little further to the south, may be of particular interest and priority in the search area. This information comes from further refinement of the satellite data. It remains on the 7th arc. That is, there's a very strong view that the aircraft will be resting on this 7th arc. However, just small alterations to the calculations can have a make a significant difference to the areas where the aircraft might have reached. And differences in the temperature of the satellites make a difference. In addition to that, some work has been done in endeavouring to map the position of the aircraft when a failed satellite telephone conversation was attempted between Malaysian Airlines on the ground and the aircraft, and that has suggested to us that the aircraft may have turned south a little earlier than we had previously expected. But the search area remains the same. We're continuing to map the area. The mapping will continue simultaneously with the deep sea search, obviously the deep sea search following the areas after they've been mapped. So we are determined to continue the search. There is a commitment from all of the countries involved to make sure that we do everything we can to locate this aircraft. We will continue the effort. And can I, on behalf of Australia, express my appreciation to the Malaysians, the the Chinese, and the other countries who've been actively involved in this search. Provision of aircraft, provision of ships, provision of scientific information, which has enabled us to target our efforts into the most likely areas where this aircraft might be located. Now, can I invite my colleagues, if they would wish to say a few words as well, and then we'll invite questions.
Thank you, Deputy Prime Minister Truss. On behalf of the Malaysian government and the people of Malaysia, I want to express my sincere gratitude for the leadership role of the Australian government has played in this complex and challenges exercise, and to the Chinese government for their ongoing support and resources dedicated to our efforts. The discussion during a tripartite meeting today was productive and allowed us to discuss the progress in the search for the MH370 and to chart the way forward. Yesterday and today we had very good bilateral meeting between Malaysia and China and Malaysia and Australia. We had a very fruitful discussion, and I've been heartened by the openness and willingness of this nation who have provided us with immediate and ongoing assistance. Today, Malaysia signed an MOU with Australia, which provides the framework and broad parameters for cooperation in the search of MH370. This forms an important part of our existing cooperation with Australia and reaffirm Malaysia's commitment towards the search. In this regard, Malaysia will provide the necessary financial contributions towards the search effort and match Australia's commitment. The combinations of undersea search equipment, world-class experts, and cutting-edge technology that is being used will be our best chance of finding MH370, and we are hopeful in our prospects of doing so. I want to assure the loved ones of the passengers and crew on board MH370 that we are resolute in our efforts to search for these aircraft. I've been touched by many of the stories I've heard, and we will do our level best to engage the next of kin and help them to find closure. To that end, we'll be providing more regular updates and information related to the search as it becomes available. Again, today Malaysia pledged its continued and unwavering support in response to the unprecedented nature and scale of this event through our financial commitment, technical expertise, equipment, and stamina in our search for answers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, Minister He.
律师们、先生们，大家好。
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
我非常赞成刚才澳大利亚副总理先生和马来西亚廖仲来部长对我们三国部长会议所达成的共识进行的阐述。
I fully agree with what have been said by the two ministers relating to today's consensus reached at the tripartite ministerial meeting.
两次三国部长会我都参加了，我觉得这一次是上一次三国部长会议的继续。我们既总结了5月5号以来开展水下扫车的基本情况，更重要的是分析了下一阶段开展深海扫车的主体方案，特别启动了商业化的搜寻模式。
I've been attended the two ministerial, tripartite ministerial meetings, and I think today's meeting is the continuation of last tripartite ministerial meeting. At this meeting, we reviewed the search and bathymetric survey information since 5th May and analyze the further plan for deep sea search in the coming days. And we announce the commencement of the commercial search in the next phase.
上一次5月5号第一次三国部长会议以后，我们根据那次会议所达成的共识，那么中国政府派出朱可桢号和海巡01号。 在澳大利亚搜救联合协调中心的指挥之下，与辉固赤道号一起，对水下的扫车完成了6万多平方公里，这为这一次进一步制定水下深海扫车工作奠定了很好的基础。
Since last tripartite ministerial meeting on the 5th of May, according to the consensus reached by the three ministers, the Chinese government sent two vessels, that is Zhu Kezhen as well as Haixun 01, to the priority search areas under the coordination of JACC. Together with the Australian government contracted vessel Fugro Equator. Up to today, these three vessels had completed the sounding of more than 60,000 square kilometers of waters, which has provided a very solid foundation for the planning for the future deep sea search.
中国政府将按照这一次三国部长会议所确定的原则，一如既往地参与好下一阶段的深海扫测工作。我们将派出专家继续参加澳大利亚联合协调中心的继续工作，同时呢，也征得副总理先生的同意，我们继续保持每周一次政府之间的搜救中心部门的电话会议，交流深海扫测的具体情况，同时呢，共同制定应对扫测当中的疑点或问题的分析。我们通过自身的努力和行动，来真正的做到我们三国政府交通部门所达成的协议，保持搜救工作做到不间断、不停止、不放弃。谢谢大家。
According to the consensus reached by the three countries at this session, the Chinese government will proactively, as we have been doing so, to further participate in the deep sea search in the coming days. Furthermore, the Chinese side will also send our experts to JACC for participating in their daily work. And after consulting with the other two ministers and with the approval of His Honorable, we will continue the weekly telecommunication and the weekly teleconference scheme between the search and rescue agencies of the two governments, and so as to exchange timely the information relating to the ongoing search, so as to analyze any new situations or data. I am sure with the joint efforts of all the three parties, we will achieve what we've agreed with each other, so as to stick to the principles of the searching for MH370, that is, the search will not be interrupted, not be stopped, and not be given up. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Minister, you spoke